Hi, I'm Debbie,
And I'm Jan,
and this is the Villages 365.
and we have more of your questions answered.
Lots
and
of
we
questions.
appreciate them,
We do.
especially the nice ones.
And we always do answer them, just so you guys know. We do answer them. When you ask a question, they are answered down in the comments, but this way everybody can hear what all is being said. You know.
She's the nice one,
All
so
the
she
children
answers the
together.
questions.
Anyway, yeah. So, the first question was off the more controversy video. BFN6GHH said, how many people live in the Villages full-time? Can you get a tee time on the championship course? So how many people live in the Villages full-time is a really tough question to answer, because even the full-timers, like, we pop in and out all the time. We travel, we'll go, up north for the summer, go pop over, we go on cruises, we go, so, I mean, if you're talking 365 days a year, I would say your number is probably actually very low. Because
yeah,
a lot of retired people want to travel. And
so
people pop in and out for, this and that. But as far as residents versus renters, I don't know that we have that number either, because the Villages may somewhere, because you've got to get a pass and an ID. So they may know how many guest passes are being issued, but they don't release that number anywhere that I've been able to find.
And when I looked it up, according to the Census Bureau data, 145,000 they're calling full-time villagers, which I wouldn't say. I'd say there's 145,000 people that own something here.
Yeah.
And then they estimated 12,000 are snowbirds currently live in the Villages. I think that's low, because when you look at the
amenities, the activities,
when there's more than 12,000 people being thrown in here, but it's revolving too. Some people might come for 1 month, and that same house will house somebody for 2 months, and blah blah blah. But I think that's hard to. And I do know that the IRS is going after people that have multiple homes here if they're not paying their sales tax, because you have to collect sales tax when you rent these houses, and so they're pulling people's tax records and see, well, she owns 5 houses, and then they'll start looking. So our accountant warned us that of right away when we bought the villa over here.
I think you got to register it with the state as a rental, and then you got to pay the tax,
quarterly tax. So. And if it's even sitting there, you have to still do a thing that no income came in. You still have to quarterly
give them a return of some sort.
Otherwise, they'll penalize you.
And as far as the tee time goes, can you get a tee time on the championship? 100%. Is it busier sometimes than others? 100%. So the prime time here is January through April, basically, is the snowbird season. Worst month, or busiest month, I shouldn't say worst month. Busiest month is February, followed by January, then March, then April. So we do have a system. If you're a resident here, you can go to thevillages.net, and then it's a tee time system, and you could request tee times basically a week in advance. And that is the way that we always do it in the height of the season, because that's the best way to ensure. Also, you can pay extra, which these two dingy dongies do, which is called an enhanced membership, and we get priority tee times because we pay basically $1,000 a year extra to get that. And so we do get a discount on our tee times, but we also get then priority tee times when we request them, as long as everybody in our group is priority. So that kind of throws you, though, if you're playing with a bunch of neighbors and somebody's not priority, then you've lost it through.
Right. And I just talked to someone who he came back. He's been gone at his lake house all summer. He went to sign up something. He was locked out because the entire time he was gone, somebody in his group of people were putting him in to hold a spot because he's priority, and that they might not have someone that's not priority. And he goes, I didn't know that they were using. And they said, well, your wife's locked out too, because they were using her number too.
Well,
so
and if they find
he's
out
locked
who
out
did
for
that,
6 months.
Well, I was going to say they will. There's a thing in the golf regulations that says they will punish you if you're
6 months.
And people do that too. Like if 3 of us are playing, we'll put in a husband so that we can just cancel them out at the last minute and stuff. We don't do that, but it does. It says that you're not allowed to reserve tee times under anybody else's
name.
Stuff, which is pretty It's sad that people do that, because the problem is that it hurts then the people that are, like
Right,
always,
right,
the
yeah.
people that are being legitimate. So
Yeah. The
anyway.
people that follow the rules.
Yep. Get punished.
There you go.
Right.
Is it my turn?
Yep.
Is it this
Yeah,
one?
pickleball advice was the video.
Oh, it's been a while since we did pickleball. Candles by Catherine. We took Pickleball 101. Do we just look for beginner play? So I looked some stuff up on districtgov.org. There's a whole thing about, under the sports activities and schedules tab under there, you can find out all about it. If you've already taken Pickleball 101, there's 220 pickleball courts in the villages. And somebody asked about where they were. That must be in another one. I think it's the next one. Anyway, I think they can tell you, or like if you live close to a pickleball court, if you go over there and say, hey, I just took this, I live over here, is there time I can play, or is there beginners that play over here, or...
Yeah, I would just go to a rec center, try and play, and then just ask the other players where the best beginner play is that they know. And most people, and if you want to play later in the day, like noon and after, a lot of times the pickleball courts are kind of open. So if you just have some friends you want to hit with, that's an easy thing to do too. So.
Yeah, and that would be a good thing, especially in the summertime. They're pretty empty in the afternoon because it's warm.
Yep. So, Arcolita asked how many pickleball courts are in the villages, and Jan said 220. And the last thing I saw, so 247. So it's
so there's probably some new ones.
They're moving.
Well, there's 22 courts at rec centers, and some of these courts have between 4 and 18.
Gotcha.
So probably they're down there. I think Rohan has a bunch of them. Maybe down south, because they know that's going to be big, and they're becoming bigger than golf now. It used to be known as a golfing community. Now it's
I think they're probably advertising it differently.
Yeah. Everybody asks, do you play pickleball? So anyway.
And how many rec centers have courts? Basically all of them. I would tell you
most,
basically
I said
all
most.
of them.
Yeah, I said most have 4 to 6.
And how many games were played last year? That's impossible to know. And Gordon, our host, had actually even said that's impossible to know. How many people attended a rating event last year? That was also tough to know, because you can get rated. Some people don't get rated. And so it's hard to know how many and also Gordon explained they were in the middle of switching from like their Pickleball 101 to a different format. So now they have a different format going. I can go ahead and review that, and I'll put that information down again in the comments. Is there a YouTube video that briefly illustrates rules and scorekeeping? 100%, I'm sure there is.
Yeah, I think you could.
And if you live here or you're visiting here and you want to go to the pickleball classes, then they will go through that with you as well. And do 25% of villagers play pickleball? Okay, so this is again a number that is impossible to know, but I will tell you, my informal survey says at least half do.
Yeah,
if not more.
Yeah. I mean, most of our friends are in this neighborhood are golfers, but we have some friends that moved here, and they're all over the pickleball.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It looks like a good way for me to hurt myself. Okay. FFT 57 sounds like a steak sauce. Where is the closest Dillard's? Ocala. That's, I think, the closest one. There are some down in Orlando, but Ocala, no tolls, not very far. Hop on 75. And do you guys like Daytona Beach? Well, I've only been there once.
And I went there once with my kids when we were actually visiting my dad when he was down here. And he didn't mention to me that you can take your cars on the beach. And so here I've got young children. I'm laying out in the sun, not paying any attention. My kids are going to the water back and forth. And all of a sudden a car goes by and I'm like, what? Why are they driving on the beach? And my dad's like, oh, they're allowed to here. So Daytona is fine. I mean, it's not my favorite beach. My favorite beach, and we've probably said this before, I love Clearwater. That's my favorite beach.
We're golf people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the golf side.
Yeah.
Not that it isn't all pretty. Florida's all pretty, but I'm the same way. Clearwater
Yeah,
Beach is probably
that's my absolute favorite beach.
yeah.
But Daytona is fine. I just will say if you have young children or grandchildren that are coming down, make sure you know, because then I was like, it was like crossing a street. I told my kids, you got to look before you come running back from the water to the. So anyway, that was kind of surprising to me. But anyway,
yeah, it's kind of cool. But
yeah,
is that good on your car?
I don't know. I'm sure it's fun, like to take a Jeep or something, but.
Yeah.
And then you also asked, I hear you have a lot of tolls. Yes, near Orlando, there are a lot of tolls. If you go from the Villages to Orlando and take the Turnpike, which
Yep.
is the fastest way there, you're going to pay, I think last check was like $11. I think we checked on it, it was like $11 or so. And do you use GPS to find alternate routes? Of course you can.
And I know people that do.
I don't.
We're in a hurry.
Yes.
And you can go fast.
And can visitors get a pass? I'm assuming you mean a pass from tolls, and absolutely not. That's how Florida makes a lot of money, is off the tourism. So they're looking for the toll money.
Yeah, you can get one of those sticker ones. I think those
maybe
are free.
are you talking about like like an iPass or
it used to be
Sun
the
Pass.
Sun Pass.
Yeah.
It's called something else now. And now most of the eastern states that have
yeah
toll roads are now recognizing
reciprocal.
That so it can take you all over the East Coast. Even Chicago, I think ours was hit by when we were seeing you guys. But
I thought you meant, can you get a pass like from the tolls? So
no,
you cannot,
and
you could get.
What they're trying to establish is pay by the plate. As you go through, it takes your picture, but it's more expensive. You might as well just get that little sticker, and you can take it on and off your windshield, and you just put $50 in it or whatever, and then
the little transponder,
and then they'll refill it as you need it. If you're coming down here quite a bit, I would. Even when we were part-time, we had one on our car. So, and then one time I rented a car from the airport, and I also had my little thing that I stuck in the thing, and I came home and I went back and I took it back, and then I got a bill from Enterprise for the tolls. I didn't know that they did the tolls in their cars. So I paid tolls with my little responder thing, and then I paid Enterprise for the.
You're welcome.
So
Florida.
I doubled the tolls. So I don't do that anymore. I thought at first it said, "I hear you have a lot of trolls."
That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, we won't go into that one.
All right. From the most enthusiastic villager, we love Becky.
Yes. Is it my turn?
Yep.
Ranman Tucson? Becky mentioned you can't work on big vehicles outside in the villages. What does that mean? Is the restriction limited to the driveway, or does it include inside the garage too? I think what she was saying, that you can't have a car all taken apart and leave it in your driveway. I mean, they call it, I think in the deeds and restrictions, junk cars. Mm-hmm. Isn't that what they say? No junk cars in the driveway. And I don't think they care what you do inside your garage. No. I mean, there's nothing. But if you tore the engine out of your car, had it strewn all over for days in the driveway, you might get in trouble.
Yes.
So that's how I kind of took that one. What about you?
And our next question, yes, absolutely. And our next question is from Lisa Sindel-Liberia. I didn't hear if Becky works at all. Becky does not. Becky works at being cheerful, going to the pools, meeting people. Her job is to swim in every pool. She is trying to swim in every pool in the villages. And she was like, she's waiting for them to open.
Right now now she's waiting for whatever's coming up next. But I did say Becky works hard at having fun in the villages. That's her job. And she's always smiling, and she talks to everybody.
She does.
She does. She's the most
sweetheart.
Enthusiastic and friendliest.
She really is. She really is. She's wonderful.
A good spokesperson.
Yes.
Let's see. S. Miser. How many pools are in the villages? Well, I had the latest count, 119 and counting. There's probably some that they haven't filled the water yet.
Yeah, I think that's what I saw too.
Yeah.
So it's growing. And our last question is from Your Questions Answered Our June video. Laura B says, I know there is a difference in the rate of property taxes depending on which county the different villages are in. Do you know which county Eastport will be in? I believe that is Sumter County, because they're headed down toward Bushnell, and that's actually the Sumter County seat. So I believe that should be Sumter County.
Yes.
And it's growing like gangbusters. They're digging their pond, and it's
quite a big sand pile down there. Well, and there's 3 different counties that the villages resides in, and Sumter is the biggest chunk of it. Marion is up this way, and Lake is right over here, and parallel here, kind of to the villages. But yeah, and they're different rates because I think you have to pay a school tax on some of them. Depending
Well, my
on
cousin lives
Wildwood.
in technically Fruitland Park. He's got to pay a city tax to Fruitland Park, and he pays Lake County taxes, and so it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a question to ask. Depending on if that, how important that is to you. The newer homes that are being built have higher property values too, for the most part. So they're going to have higher tax bills assessed and attached to them as well.
Yeah.
So, but great question for a realtor if you are actually are looking, and just have the realtor give you some guidance on where to look.
And we've heard a lot of questions about Eastport. Everybody's pretty excited about Eastport. So it'll be interesting. I need to go down there. I'm scared of getting lost.
It's going to be like a big new town square area, but on top of that, they're putting all of the amenities right near there. And it was interesting because when they built Everglades, they kind of did that. They took a big rec center and they put a lot of activities, because everybody's like, everybody's going to be in one spot. How are we going to park and all that stuff? I think it's turned out just fine, because I think between the golf carts, I mean, some people are driving their cars. I will say, I think that also might be why traffic feels worse to us now, is because more people are driving because you have to. If you are playing like tennis up at Glenview and Lopez, that's the only clay courts in the villages. And if you live down in Fenney, you're driving. You're probably not going to take your golf cart, because that's a probably 35 to 40 minute golf cart ride to get
your
up there.
rear end's going to be real tired.
Yeah. So I think a lot more people are probably using their vehicles than back in the day when, So whether there's more people or not here, but my guess is there's more auto traffic.
Well, yeah, and you think of electric golf carts, they can't go that. Some of them can't go. I mean, we've changed our batteries over to lithium so we can go farther, but our old batteries in that cart wouldn't have gotten us down there and back.
Yeah. That's why a lot of people tended to go with the gas, but now they do have the stronger batteries. So I don't know.
Gas is still, I think, the preferred. If you look around, most people are driving a.
Well, my ding dong, I just wouldn't even probably remember to plug it in. And I'd be like, "Oh, we gotta golf."
We've done that. Well, that's why we have 2 carts, just in case one of them's not smart enough. One of us isn't smart enough to plug it in. But anyway, so that's the end of those questions answered.
That is for today. And like we said, we're going to go ahead and continue to pump out some more of your questions answered, so we can get you guys caught up on all of your. We did have other videos. It wasn't so much that we were gone and worked together, but we did do some other videos trying to show you some rec centers and some other things. But we like to do your questions answered once a month, and now it's turning out that we've kind of gotten backed up. So we're going to catch up on them all.
Marathon.
So yes. Yeah. Stay up and have a all night 365 marathon.
Questions answered.
Oh, please don't do that. Anyway, so thanks for watching.
Like and subscribe.
And have a great day. Watch our next one.